Welcome, my viewers, in our today's session. Today, we are going to learn on computer applications, especially the basics. We want to know the basics, being our second topic. I'm your presenter, Ronaldo Kumu Malianya, and we shall start by understanding the objectives of our today's session. The first thing that we are going to learn, we shall be able to define the term computer, understand the terms of computer terminology, data processing cycle, advantages and disadvantages of computers, application areas for computers, computer classification, history of computers, and the don'ts and do's and don'ts of a computer. That means the likes and dislikes of a computer. Welcome. And let's start by defining a computer. What is a computer? We can say a computer is an electronic device or a set of devices that work under the control of stored programs so that they can be able to process information, data into information. We have said it's electronic, meaning that it relies on electricity. But besides being electronic, still we have said it is a set of devices. It's not just a single device, it is a set of devices. In most cases, you find that a system comprises, or computer comprises of a number of peripherals. For example, in this case, you can see we have a monitor, we have the central processing unit. This is the casing. We normally have even things like the mouse and other attachments. So it makes up a set of devices. But still, to make it very unique or different from other electronic, we know we have other electronic devices, like even the radio, the television. A computer has the ability to transform data into information. And with that one, still, I might pose a question to you so that you can tell me whether that mobile phone of yours, that mobile phone, the smartphone, is it a computer? For you who is doing some calculations with that calculator, is it a computer? We shall know that one after defining some of the terms. Let's start by the first term, which is data. We can say data is nothing but the raw facts and figures that are fed in our computer. Here in the basic level, you can realize that data can just be in form of numbers, letters, symbols, images that can be used to feed into the computer. Information is the end results of data processing. To understand it very well, maybe you have been told to write a report or a letter. Generally, a report is the end results. But before that, you have to key in data. That is maybe numbers 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D. You key in inside the computer using the input devices such as the keyboard, so that at the end of it, after the data processing, you can now be able to get the end results, which is information. Another term that we can define is instructions. These are just but commands that guides a computer through an information processing task. We also have the GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. It's just a term used in reference to how computers operate. Whatever you key into the computer is expect the same. Give it wrong information, it will give you wrong results. Giving right information, right results. We also have program. Program are just but a series of instructions that controls and coordinates computer operations. We can say a program is just how, you can say programs are intermediary between the user and the hardware. Without a program, you cannot be able to operate a computer. And at times you can go to somebody working with a computer. For example, you go to a supermarket, you find somebody's doing some work and you wonder, is this really the same computer with my laptop in the house? Yes, it is the same. But the difference is that they have installed a program that has been purposed to perform such task. Let's also know the data processing cycle. With the data processing cycle, we shall be able to know more on what data is, process, information, and how it moves. First of all, you can be able to realize that we have the data which is inputted. You input the same data in the computer, and then it is being manipulated or converted into information through the process. And remember, the same process, whether data or the instruction of data processing is being stored. With that one, you can realize that a computer can perform the following. Number one, it can respond to the input, meaning that it can accept the data input. It can process the same input according to the set of instruction. And I want to mark that one according to the set of instruction. And that one can be done through the programs that are installed. Then it can store the instructions and the results of data processing, as well as outputting. To output means giving out to the end user the information. Starting with the input, we have the input devices that does the inputting. And the common one is the keyboard. This is just a board with a number of keys. We have other input devices like the barcode reader, the joystick, the touchpad, as well as the mouse, which is used to control maybe the operations in the computer. We also have the processing, and the main processing is the central processing unit, the so-called the CPU. In fact, the CPU is a very small chip. At times, people normally confuse, say that that casing, that rectangular, like a box, is the CPU. No, that is not a CPU. That is just the casing. The CPU, inside that casing, you find that we have the motherboard as well as the chip, the CPU, attached in the same. We also have the coprocessor that has arithmetic and logic unit. The CPU, inside the CPU, we have the arithmetic and logic unit, as well as the control unit. But still remember, it relies in the input so that you can key in data, as well as output the same information. And all that one, it's being done under the control also of the programs. And it is still in the main memory. We also have the output devices. The output devices, there are things like the monitors, the printers, the speakers, and you can say output devices enables computer to communicate to the user. And a good example is a monitor, which is a popular output device. A monitor displays information in form of soft copy, whatever you can be able to see, view on that screen of yours, even through your phone, that the screen of your phone still it's an output device. You can be able to view that information on the screen. That is an output in form of soft copy. When it comes to printouts, like you print out like photos, the certificates, manual, they are output devices, and it is in form of hard copy. Still, computers give out output sound or output sound, which is also in form of soft copy through the speaker. And with the output, still we can try to relate with even how our body operates. And before even we look on our body, you can realize that even in any setup, like maybe in a function, you find that something like a system, like let's talk of our church. You have the microphone and you have speakers. A microphone is an input. It just captures the voice. Then it goes to the public address system. Then finally, through the speakers, it goes out. So speakers are output devices. We also have the storage devices. Here we have mentioned things like the memory card, the compact disc, the hard drive, so on. We can say a storage device is any type of computing hardware that is used for storing, porting, or extracting data, files, and objects. Storage devices can hold and store information both temporarily and permanently. They may be internal or external to a computer, a server or computing device drive. Maybe you talk of a server. What is a server? A server, still, this is whereby you can store information in clouds. Somebody might ask, what are clouds? This is internet. You save your information in the internet or the clouds, and you find that your information is very secure, very secure. You just save it to cloud through the internet. Beside the storage, we also have some of the advantages. Let's look at some of the advantages and disadvantages of computers. Number one advantage is that computers, we talk of the space. Computers stores large amount of data in a limited space. We have the speed, consistency, and other things. When we talk of consistency, it's whereby computer can repeat the same thing again and again, provided you have given it the same instruction. Then also you find that secrecy or privacy, your computer can secure your information, provided you have also managed it well, or you have secured the same with maybe the security features like passwords. Even with your phone, you can secure it with maybe your pattern. You can set some patterns. We have some even biometric, like the finger. You can use it as you can log in using your biometric, like the fingers and so on. We have also, we can say computers are accurate, and that's why we were talking of data in, data out, or garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you feed in the computer, expect the same. Then also computers have also enabled or reduced the paperwork, whether in office or any other places. The place looks neat because computers have reduced the paperwork. Some of the disadvantages of a computer, you can realize that computers are expensive to use or to operate. We also have it reduces employment, needs expertise, hazardous to human health, can cause even loss of information if not well managed. And that means we have to control our computers, even using the antivirus, protect your computer against viruses. And even if you have installed an antivirus, make sure you keep on updating, because it's so disappointing to find that you have lose your information through virus. You can imagine you have a project that you have invested a lot of resources. It has taken you like even a year to prepare a project, then definitely disappears. That means you have to have a backup your files. You can backup in external hard drive so that whatever happens, even if it's a mechanical challenge, you can be able to get such information. Still, we have applications areas like banking. We have education sector, as well as industry, entertainment, and so on. Even in hospital, you can find people using the same computers, data processing, and many other places. Let's also look at the classification of computers. You can classify computers either according to the size, according to the purpose and functionality. I have also tried to highlight just a summary on how computers work. For example, we have computers classification according to basis of work, basis of size, as well as basis of the purpose. We have, starting with the work, we have analog computers, digital computers, and a hybrid. The hybrid is a mix of the two, both the analog and the digital. Then we have, based on the size, we have microcomputers, mini, mainframe, workstation. At this level, when we talk of size, we can measure on the microcomputer because that is what we normally use at this basic level. With the microcomputers, these are like things like the laptops, the palm tops, the desktops, and so on. Still talking on the purpose, we have both the general and the special purpose. We shall discuss on the computer classification in our next topic, just as a unit. We also have the history of computers. We have the first generation computers up to the 5th generation. For this, at this level, let us just know we have like the first computer, first generation computer, or the first computer, which was called the Babbage difference engine, which was invented in the year 1822 by Charles Babbage. The key item here to note is that this computer really used the vacuum tubes. You can be able to see these are diagrams of the vacuum tubes. We also have the history of computers basing on the generation, still the time, as well as the whatever evolved as far as the hardware is concerned. Like the first generation, they relied on the vacuum tubes. Second generation, transistors. Third generation was integrated circuit based. Fourth generation, microprocessor based. Then the current generation, which is the 5th generation, depends on artificial intelligence. And that is whereby we say the computers behave like human. And this is through the programs that are installed. Computers are able to do what a human being is able to do. Last but not least, we can discuss on the likes and dislikes, or the do's and don'ts that a computer. Like a computer needs a well-ventilated place. If you are setting up a lab, make sure that it's well-ventilated, and then ensure that also the environment or the lab is clean, whether it's a lab or even at your place of work, at home, make sure it's well-ventilated and it's clean. With that one, you'll be able to help the computer avoid the following things like dust. And also don't drink or eat in the computer because you might spill the liquid in things like the keyboard. And that means you might be messing up with the same. Still, the computer needs the room temperature. Avoid the moist places because with the humidity, you might find that some parts of the computer might start rusting. Still, don't place object on top of the computer, like on the CPU. Some people have very heavy files, find them placing on top of the central processing unit or the casing. It might have some mechanical damage to your computer. And that marks the end of our session. I want to say thank you, but before we end, let's have a recap. We have today learned the definition of computer, the computer terminologies, data processing cycle, advantages and disadvantages of computer, the likes and dislikes of computers, computer applications areas, as well as the history of computers, and also computer classification. I want to say thank you as we end. And remember also to click on the subscribe so that you can really support this session. Let's meet in our next session. Goodbye.